Hey, Aniza here, coming to you from my terrace in Mexico. So today I just want to talk about my work and what I do and a bit about what I do because it's time to. Okay, let the words come. What I do is experiential. It is deeply experiential, and it is influenced by different modalities, but it truly is a reflection of my own soul goal print expressed. So something I say is that what I do is I meet people in the present moment, and that's true. But what does that mean to you, person listening on the other side that might be interested in working with me? It's very abstract because the work is so experiential. And so for me, I feel like I share this video because it holds the code of me, and that code, that transmission will resonate with you or it won't. And that honestly is the majority of this. It's not so much what I say, it's how I say it, it's who's saying it, it's like where my soul is in relation to my words, body, being as I'm saying it. So I'm just saying that because I guess it should just kind of highlight that people don't work with me because it makes sense. It's because it's of sense. It's like in their sensing, it's in their emotions, it's like in the nervous system that something feels resonant. And so if something like that feels resonant to you, I encourage you to reach out to me, even if it's not logical or it doesn't make linear sense, because that's not really where I'm coming from, and that's not really what I'm speaking to. Not that it doesn't have some sort of cognitive relation to it, it's just not the primary place from which I'm connecting to. So I have these different offerings, into soul wisdom, awaken as love. I really feel the work I do is quantum, it's multidimensional, it's soul, it's intergenerational, it's of sense, it's of feeling, it's of energy, it's of emotion. I might just say a bit about, so overall, I'm very empathic. I'm very intuitive. You can use the word psychic. I don't use that word. Other psychic people or very intuitive people have told me that I have all the clairs. I'm, if you know, clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, I don't know them, all the clairs. I'm really able to see the story of energy and feel it, see it, and through prayer and through source and through light and through love, transmute it through like consciousness embodied, or consciousness forming embodiment of energies in a present moment. So I say this because I don't work with any particular angels or guides or councils. I work with many aspects of energy and consciousness that come into form in a present moment that relate to present moment. So I used to work with Akashic Records. I used to work with forms that are more that I would go to often, but for many reasons, which I'll share in another video another time, I've decided not to do that, and I just follow through. I say God, it's just a word, God, source, creator. I respond, I just feel what's present and allow presence to meet me. And sometimes presence comes in the form of Mary Magdalene, sometimes presence comes into a form of trees, sometimes presence comes into the form as star beings, sometimes presence comes into form as Native American elders from the 1300s, or the ancient ones from timelines even beyond that, the Rainbow Tribe of Africa, or Cthulhu, or Arcturians, or any numerous number of things. When my senses opened, they opened quite dramatically, and I could just perceive many things. Like if you go to a party and you see many people and you just see many of them, it's kind of how the astrals open to me. The astrals open and I could just see a lot of things. I can't say I see everything because I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't think that makes sense, because how am I supposed to know what's everything or not? I can say I see many things. I see a lot. Because of that, I think things can get a bit complicated. So I have worked with my intuitive senses and have really chosen through sovereignty how I want to interact with multidimensionality and quantumness. And I love, my mentor said, I wield multidimensionality. Like, it's always very cognizant and present to me, the multiple layers of what's happening, like the energy tone, the physical tone, it's kind of hard because it's more, I want to talk in colors or shapes or in sound rather than English words, because if I was to say realms, right? So if you can imagine what realms looked like if it's like a quadratic formula or a quadratic shape that has different tones and palettes on your tongue, like that's my experience, and then the word might come as realms or energy. But these words are like, you have to go into the 3D aspect of the word to even start, right? That's even to start. So anyway, because I operate in the world like this, when I work with people, I can sense them. I can feel them inside of me. I change. Sometimes I feel them inside of me. Sometimes I feel them in between us. And essentially, I can feel what's happening for you. And I can feel and see the story of your energy as if it's inside of my energetic body. And then because of that, I can really reflect how people are feeling. And then with them, we can really journey to what's behind, what's the core, where is it that these feelings are rooted and coming from. And a lot of times I work in the ancestral realms, I work in soul realms, I work with inner child, so the past isn't past, the past is present, and the past lives within us. And so I say parallel, I don't really talk about past lives. Like, there is an ancestral realm, there's a soul realm, and there are other lives, but I feel like they're all parallel to this one, and they're kind of all living through encoding in this present reality. And so many times we have experienced a trauma, a grief, a wound from childhood through our ancestry in another lifetime. And so even though it may have happened 5 suns left and 3 light years back, it's now for us, because there is something connected to our now present pattern or goal or purpose that directly connects to what that is. And so as we trace that back, to your ancestors in medieval England or in Africa, or your soul when it experienced living in Middle Earth, or there's like endless things. We are able to sort of retrace and remap, unravel the wound, and as well recenter the power that was sidelined out of fear of pain, and whichever way it came. If it was pain that was perpetrated, pain that was received in the victimhood, pain that was witnessed, like, power gets sidelined because there's a feeling, and this is a generalization, but something I feel a lot when there's inherent lack of worthiness within humanity, and that's not natural. It's something that has been conditioned into us, but we delineate our sense of power and self-worth, and we instead, and it kind of, it's connected to this consumerist capitalistic culture, because when we don't think we're worthy, we'll play into it. We'll have bosses and we'll buy things and we'll live in a way that isn't about centering our power. It's about centering our need for survival. I just realized I'm going through lots of tangents as I'm speaking. I'm not really speaking linearly, and I apologize for that. I might even re-record this, just because I am speaking to so many things all at once that are seemingly non-related, but they are, because as I do this work, it's the web. It's like this web of information that comes through all these small tangents that make up our nervous system, that makes up the patterns of who we are. And even though in a session maybe all these things won't be articulated, for me they're acknowledged and felt, and it's through that acknowledgement and feeling that the nervous system actually has the capacity to change. So there's many times like this linear story that we're working through energetically in the session, but there's also all these depths and layers of energetic magic that's happening, some consciously through me, some unconsciously just through our energetic container of light, and through just like light leading itself to light. So I'm probably gonna do another video. Like, I might post this one because it's interesting, but I feel like I'm gonna say another one about more directly. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about experiences. Just so examples. Someone came to me because they wouldn't fill out their taxes. And you know, there's, of course, it's not what are taxes representative of, you know, it's not just about taxes, but that was the needed material outcome, right? That was the intention. So what we did all the energetic work. It was a lot about earth and animal kingdom and ancestors and worth and white male patriarchy and feeling safe to be empowered even as a white male, and to like make change and know that change will produce harmony and not only harm. It was like this whole remapping and coming into more natural states of being that supported this person doing their taxes after many years, and sending invoices and actually receiving money for the work they're doing and feeling worthy of that. And it was all these other energetic things that were connected to the fact that someone wasn't doing their taxes. So that's like one example. There's another example of someone wanting to, gosh, there's so many. Okay, so wanting to connect to their, like the warmth of their self-love, and where has that come. And like that one, and there's many other aspects to this intention, but there was like a part of the soul never actually, in my sense, incarnated. And so we went through a soul retrieval from like the moment of birth, like between the astrals and the body, like something got stuck. We went through ancestral lineages on the paternal side. We've like sat through and energetically went through some patterns that have happened. We have sat with the inner child. So it's like all these different things we do around the intention. And so I'm working with these people over long terms. And I also have worked with many people just like on one-off sessions with an intention, and then like there's so much that happens in that one session that there's a step taken. But I really find that working long term really allows this like holistic. So Awaken as Love for me is all about inclusion-based healing. It's all about inclusion-based healing being that the parts of us that we have deemed unworthy, the parts of us that live in the shadow, in the dark. And it's so easy to say this. I mean, some people talk about shadow work, and I think it's just that thing of like the words are correct, but the energy of it is so intense. So I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to come back with inclusion-based healing and what that means to me, and talk more specifically about my offerings, and just be a bit more concrete in the next video. I love you. Thank you.